Hello there, welcome back to World of Warships Legends on the console. I am Durka, and today we are checking out the HMS Lion, the Tier 7 premium British battleship. Historically, it would have been a beefed up KGV with a lot more armor and larger, more modern 406mm guns. This battleship really does have it all. Big guns, good AA, lots of armor, and super heals to boot. In this gameplay in the background, we have a pretty epic comeback, and I'm still not really sure how we won. I gotta say though, you will enjoy the ending. So sit back, relax, and let's check out HMS Lion. I think I played around 10 games before coming up with this particular gameplay. But the HMS Nelson chugging creatine-infused tea came to mind while playing her. This ship was an absolute delight to play. So in this video, we're going to kind of review her and see how I've been playing her, and at the end of the video, maybe talk a little bit briefly about how you can earn her in the Winter 2022 event. The first stop, Commander. Lane Nelson was my go-to British commander for this ship, but you could do just as well with Ole Andrew Cunningham and a focus on long-range accuracy. Using Flammable Cannonier in this instance might not even be a bad idea because you have access to super heals. You guys kind of know how I feel about Flammable Cannonier, but when you can heal back that much health, it really doesn't matter that much. So we'll talk about that a little bit here later. I mostly used Cunningham and Lane Scharnhorst to buff the Sigma and the dispersion a little bit for inspirations, but you might also consider Mikhail Kedrov. The turret traverse on the Lion, much like the Conqueror, is really, truly terrible. You'll have a difficult time reacting if targets close in or simply switching guns from one side of the ship to your other. The modules we use, pretty standard: aiming systems, target acquisition, prop mod, main battery mod, blah blah blah. The loadout is a little unique because you can put defensive AA fire on here that will boost your already pretty decent AA capabilities even more. For 40 seconds, you will do 200% more damage. Of course, you also have the secondary booster, but I would probably go with the defensive AA capabilities. And loadouts. You also get these fantastic heals. They are the best heal of any tier 7 battleship and will heal nearly 25,000 damage apiece. Third best heal in the game as I figure it behind the Conqueror and the Nelson. It is very, very strong. If you have Master Mechanic at level 3, either on Lane Nelson, or if you like Madman Madden, then you could get 4 of those heals. So you can imagine just how powerful that would be at 25,000 health apiece. Let's look at the statistics. Now, for comparison reasons, I have nearly every tier 7 battleship on this comparison. I think I am still missing Lenin, JB, Gascon, and the Monarch. I don't think I'm missing any others, but if I am, then have mercy on me in the comment section. Anyway. Armor-wise, the Lion is pretty tanky. This is something we're not really used to in a British battleship so much. You know, you have the Nelson and the KGV. They're not very tanky, pretty lightly armored bows that can get punched through. The Conqueror is the glass cannon at legendary tier, but the Lion is not like that at all. You have a 32mm bow and stern and 32mm deck. This is pretty comparable to the other battleships at the tier, but the 381mm armor and Citadel armor belt are fantastic. Citadel protection is pretty good, beating out even the mighty tanky Bismarck by some 61mm. A well-angled Lion will be one tough cookie, no doubt. Health points wise, she is right in the middle of the pack at 67,900. She does fall behind in her ability to protect herself from torpedo threats though, with only a 25% torpedo protection. The guns. Well, the guns are nothing to scoff at, as that Zara found out. She has 9 406mm guns, and since I am actually using Flammable Cannonier for once, the range is nearly 19 kilometers, which is fantastic. On top of that, the guns reload in 26.4 seconds on my setup, making them some of the fastest reloading 16-inch guns in the game. One area she does fall behind a little bit though, and you should consider buffing, like we talked about earlier, is the turret traverse. Nearly last place out of tier 7 battleships at 45 seconds. When you truly think about it, and there are only 15 minutes in a match, and waiting nearly 1 minute to turn your turrets, that can be pretty crippling. That will cut your damage that you're dealing out, and, you know, will kind of cut down how effective you can be. I would definitely consider Mikhail Kedrov, especially if you have him a high level. Lion is not done impressing though. HE shell damage per shell, 7,728. Now this is buffed a little bit by Azurlane Nelson, but still, the HE alpha here is absolutely devastating. Even the great Japanese HE alpha on Amagi and Key come up short, as does Georgia's massive 18-inch high explosive shells at 6,450. The fire chance, second best out of all the battleships that I have at tier 7. The only battleship to beat it out was the Champagne, surprisingly, and that kind of gives me some ideas for another meme or meta video. Moving on, AP shells. Kind of like the Fiji just found out, 14,000 apiece. That is the second best at the tier. Now throw that fast reload in with the crazy high shell damage numbers, and this has some of the best battleship DPM at the tier. Number 1 for high explosive, number 3 for armor piercing. It can really deal out a lot of punishment. AA above average at 82. Just remember you have your defensive AA consumable. Without gyrating drill bits, our speed was 30.4 knots. Pretty average for the tier, but just fine. I felt like I could make it around the map comfortably. Turning circle, 830 meters is above average. 14.6 kilometer concealment is also above average. I mean, the only big downfalls I am seeing in this thing is a slightly slower rudder shift, a little below average, and the turret traverse. That is it. This is one solid battleship. Now, there are all of these statistics, but how does she feel to play? Well, pretty dang good, I have to say. You have options with Lion. Look, listen to me. Lion. It's Lion. I don't know. It's the tier 6 French battleship that keeps me saying that. Anyways, some battleships, they're very dependent on pushing flanks, creating crossfires, and the Lion simply isn't one of them. Granted, you will still be very helpful to your team if you do that. That's how you should play a battleship. But sometimes you have an enemy battleship that kind of locks horns with you and is stubborn and keeps you from turning or maneuvering from one side to the other. And in that case, simply load HE and make them regret ever loading into the game. With the best HE alpha at the tier and an insane fire chance, the Lion can fire start with the best of them. The AP shells, they're traditional British short-fused AP shells as far as I can tell, and they are fantastic against cruisers. Let's say I was in the Iowa just a few moments ago. I would have most certainly overpinned that Fiji at close range. But instead, the short-fused shells detonated perfectly inside the ship and made it a very easy kill. Cruisers really need to watch out for the Lion. The whole strategy of going straight broadside to draw over pins will not work against this battleship, and you will get punished heavily. Now, in the same breath, the penetration against more heavily armored targets, angled ones, or long-range targets will be a little lackluster for sure. Keep that in mind. Also, just because you can shoot 19 kilometers doesn't mean you will hit much. The dispersion at those kinds of ranges for British battleships is pretty bad. So let's talk about this game. For starters, at the beginning of this match, I see a lot of battleship players that if they spawn middle, they immediately sail for one of the flanks, especially on estuary. But next time you play this map, try to do what I did. Set up in the middle, especially if you have a little support to protect you against destroyers, but post in the middle so that you can shoot crossfires into both flanks. Because of the way I parked at the beginning, I easily kept the Lenin pinned and from moving up unless he wanted to take a lot of damage. wrecked a Zara on the opposite flank by the same means, and yeah, just kind of set our team up pretty well defensively. Speaking of our team, we got off to a very rocky start. I think at one point there, I would have to go back and look, but we were down by several ships. Not good. I figured it would be another loss. I was having some bad luck on this day of playing, but things started looking up, especially with that Fiji deletion. So very briefly, how could you obtain this ship? Well, for now, she's available in the 2022 Winter Crate mission. 25,000 winter coins. It's kind of going to be a grind like the Ognivoy and the Linen. So, completing missions. It's worth paying special attention to the Escaping the Labyrinth weekly mission that can be completed playing Minotaur. You can obtain a significant haul of winter coins. Redeeming Windrose bonuses. As you can see right now, tier 6 premiums, tier 7 premiums, and tier 7 tech tree ships. Every win you get, there is a Windrose bonus that earns you more of these winter coins. Play and ideally dominate in arena mode. So there are going to be three different separate arenas. I think it's 8, 9, and 10. And if you do well and stay in the top percentage of players, you can earn a significant amount of winter coins that way. A special note, and just listen to this part. Please note, Lion cannot be obtained for free in our estimations. At the very least, you will need to acquire the Admiralty backing, 2,500 doubloons, and complete the campaign during the 5th week of the update, while also playing in the top bracket of all the arena seasons. That being said, this is unlikely to be the last time we see this roaring beast, and that's why I'm not spending very much time on this, because a year or two from now, the ship could be available in another manner. Don't kill yourself grinding for this thing, it will be back. Finally, in this game, after the Bismarck went down, I figured, okay, we're comfortable. I can win this thing. We tried to stay close to our Scharnhorst, who played a fantastic game, to keep his will to rebuild going, keep him alive. And now we're just going to play the waiting game. Atago's there with his torpedoes. I'm here with my guns. And again, we're going to prove why these short-fused British AP shells are good. We didn't get an outright deletion, but 2 penetrations that were worth a lot of damage. We did actually have 3 overpens there, but, I mean, not bad. It was enough to take off of the Cleveland that we just got him out of the game. And Lennon, at this point, I think he realizes it's probably over. You just gonna have to go for it. I think he turned in just enough here that we didn't do a significant amount of damage. Again, these armor-piercing shells aren't the greatest against battleships, but overall that is going to wrap it up and give us the win on this one. I think the Lion is a very strong ship, very fun, and would be worth obtaining. I'm not sure how she'll come back to us, whether for doubloons or for global XP. But if I remember right, with the Ognivoy and the Yukikaze and the Linen, it's just too much of a grind. It's a big time commitment, and I don't think that I would be able to get it that way, but I look forward to getting her when she comes back to us in some other form. Let me know what you guys think about her in the comments section down below. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for future content. That helps greatly. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.